You are the main character. That's not just a motivational line, it's a mindset, a way of living, a truth we've all forgotten too many times. You are not someone's background noise, not an extra in someone else's movie. You are the story, the heartbeat, the reason the screen lights up. Yet, how often do we hand over the pen and let someone else write our narrative? How often do we shrink ourselves to fit into someone else's comfort zone? We've been conditioned to wait for someone to choose us, to notice us, to validate us. But darling, you were never meant to sit quietly in the waiting room of life. You were meant to walk into the room and own it. To speak with purpose, to move with confidence, and to take up space like you belong because you do. When you start believing you're the main character, everything changes. You stop chasing people who don't see your worth. You stop replaying every conversation in your head, wondering what you did wrong or how you could have made him stay. You stop performing for approval and start living for yourself. And that is when your real story begins, not the one where you're just surviving, but the one where you're thriving. Main characters don't wait around for the plot to happen. They make it happen. They fall, yes, but then they rise. They get heartbroken, but they grow stronger. They're flawed, real, messy, and powerful. And the world doesn't revolve around their love story alone. It revolves around their asterisk self, discovery asterisk. So many of us give our power away. We hand it over in text messages that go unanswered. We give it to people who ghost us, who breadcrumb us, who make us question if we're too much or not enough. We let someone else's lack of effort make us feel unlovable. But that's not what main characters do. That's not what you were born to do. You were born to be bold, to walk through life with your chin up, your heart open, and your standards sky high. You were born to write chapters filled with ambition, joy, healing, chaos, beauty, and passion, not with waiting around for someone who can't even spell commitment. Start focusing on your own script. Ask yourself, what makes me feel alive? What do I want to accomplish, independent of anyone else's validation? What kind of woman do I want to become? Then start becoming her, not tomorrow, not when he texts back, not when you finally feel ready. Now, because there is no perfect moment. There is just this one, this breath, this choice. The moment you stop living for someone else's attention is the moment you get your power back. And I promise you, there is nothing more magnetic than a woman who's fully living in her truth, not for a man, not for the audience, but for herself. You don't need to prove yourself to anyone. You don't need to compete, compare, or apologize for your light. You just need to remember who you are, because when you finally decide to stop playing small, to stop editing your personality to make someone comfortable, to stop putting someone else on a pedestal, that's when you step into your main character energy. And believe me, the world starts to notice when you do. Would you like me to expand other key points from the speech in a similar tone? When someone you care about goes silent, ignores your calls, stops replying, disappears without explanation, it can feel like you're being slowly erased. The mind starts spinning. You wonder what you did wrong. You analyze every message, every moment, every word. You replay conversations like a broken record, looking for a mistake, for a crack in the mirror. But here's the truth you need to hold onto like your life depends on it. His silence is not your worth. Silence can be cruel, it's passive, but it's loud. It fills the space with doubt, with insecurity, with a sense of abandonment. And we start believing the lie that if someone stops choosing us, we must not be worth choosing. That if he pulls away, we must be unlovable. That if he doesn't respond, we must not matter. But that lie, it's not yours to carry. His silence is not a reflection of who you are, it's a reflection of who he is. Maybe he doesn't know how to communicate. Maybe he's emotionally unavailable. Maybe he's selfish. Or maybe he just isn't capable of giving you what you need. But none of it has anything to do with your value as a person. Your worth isn't measured by someone else's ability to see it. Think about it this way. The sun doesn't stop shining just because someone closes the blinds. You don't become less beautiful, less intelligent, less deserving, just because one person chooses not to show up for you. Their silence does not diminish your brilliance. It doesn't cancel out your kindness. It doesn't rewrite your story. In fact, their silence speaks volumes, just not about you. It tells you that this is someone who doesn't know how to love fully. It tells you they're not ready for the kind of depth you offer. It tells you they're not your person, not because you aren't enough, but because they never had the capacity to receive you, and that is not your fault. But still, we make it about ourselves. We think, if I had just been quieter, or sexier, or more chill, he would have stayed. We take on the burden of their emotional immaturity. We internalize their absence as evidence that we're somehow broken. And in doing that, we betray ourselves. What you have to realize and keep realizing is that someone's decision to pull away is their own. Let them. Let people leave if that's what they choose. Don't chase silence. Don't beg for breadcrumbs. Don't shrink just to keep someone who doesn't even see you. You deserve consistency. You deserve effort. You deserve someone who shows up not just when it's easy or convenient, but when it matters. And if someone can't give you that, their silence is actually a gift. It reveals the truth. It creates space for someone better. It teaches you that closure doesn't come from their words, it comes from your decision to move forward without them. So instead of waiting by the phone, turn toward yourself. Pour into the things that bring you peace. Lean into your passions. Connect with people who uplift you. Take your power back, one decision at a time. Because the most powerful moment in your healing will be when you stop wondering why he went silent, and start remembering why you never needed him to speak in the first place. You are whole. You are enough. You are not defined by someone else's silence. You are defined by how fiercely you choose to love yourself through it. And you deserve someone whose presence speaks louder than all the silence you've ever endured. There comes a moment in every woman's life when she realizes that waiting for someone to validate her, love her, or choose her is not only exhausting, it's a dead end. That moment, as painful as it can be, is also the beginning of something extraordinary, growth. When you stop chasing people and start investing in yourself, your life changes in ways you never imagined. Because the truth is, you are the most important project you will ever work on. Investing in your growth doesn't mean you have to have it all figured out. It means you start showing up for yourself in small, consistent ways every day. It means you start choosing things that align with your future rather than cling to things that comfort your past. Growth isn't a straight line. It's messy, uncomfortable, and often lonely. But it's also powerful, liberating, and deeply rewarding. Start by asking yourself, what am I passionate about? What excites me? What challenges me? What scares me not because it's wrong, but because it's big? Maybe it's a career change, going back to school, building a business, getting in shape, starting therapy, traveling alone, writing that book, learning a new language, or simply choosing peace over chaos. Whatever it is, commit to it. Commit like you would commit to someone you love, because that someone is you. Stop shrinking to fit into a relationship that isn't growing. Stop editing yourself to be more palatable to people who don't even know who they are. Redirect that energy inward, the attention you give to wondering whether he's thinking about you. Give that to your goals, the time you spend checking who viewed your story. Use it to read, create, meditate, move your body. You'd be amazed at what happens when you stop wasting energy on what's not growing and start pouring it into what is. Growth is about discipline, yes, but it's also about grace. You're going to fall back into old habits sometimes. You'll have moments when you miss the comfort of the familiar, even when you know it wasn't good for you. That's human, but the difference now is that you won't stay there. You'll catch yourself, realign, and move forward because the version of you that's emerging is too powerful to abandon. When you invest in yourself, people will notice. Some will be inspired. Some will be intimidated. Some will fall away, and that's okay. Your growth isn't meant to make others comfortable. It's meant to make you unstoppable. Don't water yourself down to be digestible. Don't dim your light so others don't squint. Shine anyway, rise anyway, grow anyway, and remember, growth is not just about doing more, it's also about letting go. Let go of the idea that healing means forgetting. Let go of the pressure to be perfect. Let go of the fear that you're behind. You're not. You're exactly where you need to be to learn the next lesson, to build the next layer, to become the next version of yourself. You owe it to yourself to see what happens when you choose you, when you bet on your own potential, when you stop settling and start expanding. You are not too much, you are not too late. You are a force in progress, in motion, in transformation. So don't look back, don't pause for people who won't grow with you, don't apologize for choosing a bigger life. This is your season, your journey, your evolution. Invest in it like your future depends on it, because it does. And the woman you become on the other side, she'll thank you for every step. There's a kind of power that comes when a woman learns to set boundaries not as a form of defense, but as a declaration of self-worth. Setting boundaries isn't about building walls. It's about drawing lines that protect your peace, your energy, and your identity. It's about saying, I love you, but I love me too. And that kind of love. That's queen energy. Too many of us are taught to be agreeable, accommodating, likable. We're conditioned to please, to bend, to soften ourselves so others feel more comfortable around us. But the truth is, every time you say yes when you really mean no, you chip away at your own truth. Every time you let someone cross a line without consequence, you silently tell them it's okay to disrespect you. And every time you overextend yourself to meet someone else's expectations, you're abandoning your own needs. That's not love, that's self-neglect. Real strength is knowing where you end and where someone else begins. It's having the courage to say, this is what I will tolerate, this is what I won't, this is what I deserve. And yes, it will make some people uncomfortable. Yes, you might lose a few people along the way, but if someone leaves because you respected yourself, they were never meant to stay. A queen doesn't lower her crown to be accepted. She stands tall and lets the right people rise to meet her. Setting boundaries isn't selfish, it's self-respect. It's telling the world, I know my value and I won't settle for less. Whether it's in friendships, family, relationships, or work, boundaries are necessary. They create clarity. They teach people how to treat you. They separate the things that are meant for your growth from the things that are meant for your destruction. And let's be real, not everyone will respond well when you start setting them. Some will call you too much, cold, or difficult. That's because they benefited from your lack of boundaries. They liked the version of you who tolerated mistreatment, who overgave without asking for anything in return. But you're not here to make everyone comfortable. You're here to be whole, and wholeness sometimes means saying no more. It means saying no to toxic relationships that leave you drained. It means not answering messages at 2 a.m. because someone only remembers you when they're lonely. It means not letting people use you as a dumping ground for their emotional mess without ever asking how you are doing. It means choosing yourself, even if it means disappointing others, because peace is more important than approval. Boundaries are not about control. They are about clarity. And when you get clear on what you will and won't allow, your life changes. You attract different energy. People begin to respect you not because you demanded it, but because you respected yourself first. And those who can't handle your boundaries, let them go. You're not losing anything that's meant for your growth. A queen isn't afraid to say, this is the line, and I will not cross it for anyone, no matter how charming, how familiar, or how tempting they may be. That is grace. That is power. That is the kind of woman who knows herself so deeply. She doesn't need to be liked to feel loved. She already loves herself enough to walk away from anything that threatens her peace. So don't apologize for having standards. Don't feel guilty for protecting your energy. Don't guess yourself for walking away from what no longer serves you. That's not cold, that's courageous. That's not heartless, that's healing. Your boundaries are your throne. Guard them, honor them, and never let anyone make you feel wrong for choosing yourself. Validation, it's something we're all wired to seek. From the moment we're born, we look for cues from others' approval, praise, reassurance that we're doing okay, that we're enough. And while that's natural, the truth is, living your life dependent on external validation is a trap. Because when your sense of worth is tied to someone else's opinion, you're never truly free. You're constantly performing, constantly adjusting, constantly chasing a moving target. There comes a time when you have to realize the validation you're looking for, that deep, unshakable knowing that you're worthy, it doesn't come from the outside. It comes from within. If someone compliments you, it feels good, of course it does. If someone chooses you, if they post about you, text you back, notice your success, it can feel like proof that you matter. But what happens when that praise stops? What happens when they forget or change or disappear? If your self-worth is built on their words, you'll crumble when the applause fades. You'll doubt yourself every time you don't get the reaction you hoped for. You'll start asking, "What's wrong with me?" instead of asking, "Why am I giving away my power?" You cannot build a stable life on unstable ground, and relying on others to validate your existence is unstable ground. Because people are human, they're inconsistent, they project their own insecurities. They misunderstand, they disappoint, and if your entire identity is shaped by how others treat you, you'll always feel one step away from falling apart. But when validation becomes internal, everything changes. You stop waiting for someone to tell you you're beautiful. You start seeing your own beauty, even when no one else notices. You stop needing someone to say, "I'm proud of you," because you've already taken a moment to be proud of yourself. You stop living for the highlight reel, the likes, the comments, and start living for something deeper, something real. Internal validation means being grounded in who you are. It means knowing your value even when no one is clapping. It means standing in front of the mirror and choosing to love yourself, not because someone told you to, but because you've finally realized you deserve it. Every scar, every flaw, every version of you, it all matters. It's all worthy of love. It doesn't mean you'll never feel insecure again. It doesn't mean praise won't still feel good. But it means your foundation won't crack every time someone overlooks you. It means you'll no longer tolerate being treated like an option just to feel seen. It means you'll stop chasing people who are emotionally unavailable just to feel desired. When you validate yourself, your standards rise. You don't entertain what doesn't align with your peace. You don't water yourself down to be accepted. You don't hustle for your worth because you've already claimed it. And that kind of self-respect, that's magnetic. That's power. That's the kind of energy that doesn't need to beg for attention. It commands it simply by being whole. Validation isn't a finish line someone else lets you cross. It's a choice you make every single day to trust yourself, to back yourself, to remind yourself that you are enough even on your worst days. Especially on your worst days, because at the end of the day, the most important voice in your life isn't theirs, it's yours. So make it a kind one, make it a strong one. Make it a voice that doesn't need to be echoed to be heard. And when you master that, no one, not him, not them, not anyone can ever make you question your worth again. There's something profoundly powerful about a comeback. It doesn't happen in the spotlight. It starts in the shadows, in the quiet moments when you're picking up the pieces of a life, a heart, a dream that once felt whole. It begins when everything feels like it's falling apart, and you think you've hit the bottom, and then you realize, even from down here, you still have a choice. You can stay broken, or you can rebuild, and let me tell you something. The comeback is always stronger, not because it's flashy or perfect, but because it's rooted in pain, grit, and self-discovery. Because it's not about proving anyone wrong. It's about proving yourself right, proving that you are capable, resilient, worthy, and deeply powerful. No one talks about how hard it is to start again. To get up after being hurt, betrayed, abandoned, humiliated, to walk back into the world with a heart that's been cracked open. People will say, "Be strong," like it's a switch you can flip, but the real strength. That's in the quiet decision to not let the pain define you, to rise not because you weren't broken, but because you refused to stay that way. That's what makes the comeback beautiful. It's not clean. It's messy and nonlinear. It's waking up some days full of hope and other days full of doubt. It's fighting the urge to call them, to look back, to shrink. It's battling the parts of yourself that still believe the lies they left you with. It's choosing over and over again to believe in something better, to believe in asterisk you asterisk, and in that slow rebuild, something incredible happens. You discover parts of yourself you forgot existed, strengths you never knew you had, a voice that doesn't tremble when it speaks, standards that rise with your self-respect. You stop chasing and start attracting. You stop waiting for permission and start creating. You realize that everything you needed, love, peace, validation, was always within you. You just had to lose the noise to find the signal. The people who rise after the fall, they walk differently, they love more deeply, but they also protect their peace. They don't settle not for crumbs, not for confusion, not for conditional love. Because they've known the darkness, and they've fought to find their own light. A comeback isn't about revenge. It's not about making someone wish they'd treated you better. It's about evolving so powerfully that you no longer even crave their apology. It's about outgrowing what once kept you small, about building a life so aligned, so fulfilling, so honest, that the past no longer feels like home, it feels like a lesson you're grateful to have survived. So don't rush your comeback, let it unfold in its own time, let it be raw and real and yours. Let the world underestimate you, that's part of the beauty, because when you return, it won't be as the same version they broke. You'll be wiser, sharper, softer in the right places, and unshakable in others. You'll walk back into rooms you once left in pain, and you won't flinch. You'll revisit memories, and they won't sting. You'll look at yourself in the mirror and see someone who didn't just survive, she asterisk transformed asterisk. And when that moment comes, when the glow returns to your face, when the peace returns to your soul, when the fire in your belly is back, you'll understand what they meant when they said, "The comeback is always stronger." Because the woman who rises from the ashes, she's not just back, she's asterisk, reborn asterisk.